Wait, one and two and three and
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Life with Bros podcast. This is episode number 2. And today I'm joined with my co host.
Kenneth Hernandez Torres.
And today we're going to be talking about a couple things. Really, this conversation isn't tied down to anything, really. So it's going to be like an open conversation where we kind of just talk about random things that might come across our mind. But I guess to start it off, we first wanted to talk about the podcast. Of course, this is a new podcast. You know, we don't really have much content out there. We don't have like a foundation or anything. So we're really just trying to establish ourselves. So to give a little bit of background, we're planning on doing this pretty long term, kind of like a casual thing. You know, just it doesn't hurt to like upload something and create some content and have some people like slowly listen to us over time. You know, slowly pick up an audience maybe if we're entertaining enough. But yeah. So really excited to be doing this. We've been wanting to do this for a really long time. We really haven't done it like the appropriate way. We already have an episode recorded though, so that's gonna come out before this one. So if you're listening to this, you could probably listen to the last one. It'll be uploaded on YouTube right now. Ultimately, it's gonna be on Spotify, but that's not gonna come down to like maybe 3-4 months down the line.
I just also want to say, if you are tuning in and you did tune into the other video, because we are going to be consistently uploading, make sure to leave.
Marcus words. Let's see if that's true.
Yeah, it is going to be true. Hey,
right.
but if you're watching this, that means it is true.
Yeah, that is true.
But make sure to leave a like. You know, support us. We're you know, like I said, like Guillermo said, we're pretty casual right now. But we never know. You know, this is just like a little side thing we got going on. Leave a like, subscribe. You know, share with your friends if you guys find this in like these conversations that we have pretty entertaining, and you guys can kind of identify with it, or you guys want to like pitch in or kind of like give your 2 cents. Make sure to leave a comment, share with your friends.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you have something to say or you feel like you'd make a good addition to the podcast, this is like an open podcast. We're openly inviting anybody in, like with any kind of viewpoint to come on here.
Right.
And we can just, it could be casual. It could be whatever you guys want. Soon I'm going to have a website set up where you could kind of like enlist and subscribe to like an email thing where you could, set up an appointment. Not even an appointment. I don't want to make it all that like that. It's just, it's casual. But you can like basically sign yourself up so that way you can talk to us. It's not like we're anybody exclusive really, but it's really just to set up a podcast to like solidify an episode. You know, if you have an idea or even if you just want to come up here and talk casually about something that you're interested in, or, just talk in general, then just message us and it's more than welcomed. Right now we're just trying to grow, get a lot of people to find out about us. And yeah, let people know that we're open.
That's why it's called Life with Bros. It's not called Life with the Bros.
It's Life with Bros. So a bro can be anybody. Like
right.
It's very open ended. But yeah, let's do it. So
let's start off with the origins. Like why? Let's start off with the why of our podcast.
Okay.
Why did we start off? What was the idea? Who really like planted the seed? Who kind of pitched it? I honestly don't even remember. It's been
honestly, I was about to say that too. I don't remember. I think every fucking friend group has like, oh, we should start a podcast. So it could have been anybody, right?
Where?
But I'd say I personally really wanted to do it at one point, and so I executed. Right. Like there was a point in time where, there was just, we would talk about, oh, let's make a podcast. And this went on for a year. And then a whole year later, we bought fucking microphones. And there were some cheap microphones, you know what I mean? They didn't really work out the way we wanted them to, but we bought them anyways. We didn't record anything, and another couple of months passed. And I think maybe another year passed. And then I said, fuck it, we're going to go all out. Like, I'm just going to go buy a fucking really good machine that'll help us record a podcast. And then we'll get some microphones, and it'll like, streamline the process and make it a lot easier for us to record. And I did. I told my friends, Kenneth and Benji, hey, look, let's buy this Rodecaster. We ended up buying it, and now we're just recording, right? Like, I try to just speed things up, try not to lose motivation of what I wanted to do. It's not like I want to build a career out of this, but it's definitely something that I want to, like build up on the side. It'll be fun. And it kind of gives me a break from things.
I remember there was this one time, this was before we had all the gear and everything. I brought you guys over to my dad's radio show on 23rd Street. He's like kind of like he does it. He also does it on the side. It's like a radio show in Richmond. They have all the equipment. They have, the studio. They have everything. They actually have a Rodecaster for the actual show itself. And one day we just came in and we just watched everything. And I think that was kind of like a good like starting point for us when we I remember I'm not sure if you were there, Guillermo.
I don't think I was there personally. No.
I know Benji and somebody else was there. I think you were there actually.
Might have been. I don't remember.
We were just kind of sitting off to the side, just watching everything happen. And they had like all this professional equipment. They have like flat screen TVs with like logos of their show name and everything. And we were just like, damn, I don't. Maybe you were there. I don't know. But yeah, that for me personally was definitely a starting point. Like that definitely like planted the seed for me. I participated in one of the interviews. I was like in an interview with a police. I think he was like trying to become a sergeant, and he was getting interviewed by them, and it was kind of like oriented towards like the Hispanic community here in Richmond. So it helped him a lot, and I was kind of like in that. I was involved in that. I was like, oh shit, this is like my first time in a live, thing, like interviewing somebody, like asking them questions, and I was asking them from my standpoint, like somebody younger, because it was just a bunch of old heads, like and I grew up here. So I was definitely asking him different types of questions, and he ended up getting the promotion because of our audience and whatnot, or not primarily because of them, but we definitely
So that kind of like your uncle's radio show or your dad's radio show really helped out in at least like solidifying an understanding of what it's like to maybe own or be a part of an actual show consistently, right?
Right, and obviously they're a little more organized with their stuff. They're already like further down the path.
Yeah, they're further down the line.
Yeah, because they already have like people pay to like host their own shows, and they have people like assigned to different parts of the day, and they're live, and they play music, and it's literally it's an online radio show. So it's a radio station. It's a digital radio station. There we go.
Okay.
And they have live shows within that digital radio station, so people tune in. They have their own app. They have everything. It's pretty cool. So that was definitely like kind of like something that I could use as kind of like a frame point, and then we started kind of collecting all this stuff. Primarily Guillermo, he was the one that really advocated for all the stuff being bought. I kind of just like, he was like, buy this, and I would buy it, like the microphone and whatnot. But yeah, it was definitely something that was. It took a long time to kind of put together, but one day Guillermo was just like, I'm just gonna buy all this shit.
Yeah, I was tired of fucking waiting. I didn't want to wait any longer.
The bush a lot.
We were beating around the bush. Yeah. We were like trying to, like, maybe not excuses, but
it just wasn't a priority.
It just
honestly.
For some reason we didn't make it a priority.
We just kept brushing it off, like, oh bro, when are we gonna do this? And then we would never do it.
Yeah, we'd never do it.
But shout out to Guillermo. Like he tell them about the story about how you got the Rodecaster, but that was pretty.
So basically we're broke. We're not fucking rich, right? And a Rodecaster at the time was around $800-$900 buying it stock, completely new. But that's super expensive. So I mean, I did a lot of surfing on the web. I tried looking at different places where I could buy it, and these people had it listed for like around, I think it was like $500 or $600. It was somewhere around there. But it looked like to me it was a pawn shop that they were selling a Rodecaster, which is basically, if nobody knows what a Rodecaster is, you basically can record a podcast through it. It kind of streamlines the process from like recording to uploading. It removes a lot of things that you don't need to do. But yeah, basically I found it online, and I messaged them. I was like, hey, like, is this still available? And then they're like, yeah, it's still available. Well, I didn't even message them. I think I went straight to calling them. I just called them and told them, hey, like, is this available? They're like, yeah, it's still available. And I told them, I was like, is there any way you guys can go down in price? I kind of like wanted to negotiate down the price. I wanted to figure out like if there was any issues with it or whatever it was. But like after like a couple conversations, they passed me like to 3 different employees until I finally got to like I guess the owner of the pawn shop. And then he was like, oh, like, what is it you were trying to do with it? I basically gave him a little bit of background of what I wanted to do with it, obviously. And I just told him like, hey, like, I'd like to buy it at this price. Like, I just think like, I mean, I didn't even like, I just kind of went back and forth with them. Like, honestly, it's kind of old. The new one's about to come out because they have a second one. I was like, the new one's about to come out. You know what I mean? I don't think it's valued that much. Like, whatever. The point is, he ended up being like, yeah, sure, whatever, take it. Like, we don't want it anyways. And I ended up buying it for $300. So I bought it $300 under asking price. And that made me very happy because I feel like this is an extremely valuable asset. Maybe not an asset, but a tool. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what went behind me actually bringing this whole podcast into fruition. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then so going forward, I just want to continue it.
Did you feel like you learned anything from that? Like that whole experience of really just like negotiating?
It was the first time I ever negotiated with anybody, like for anything. And then it was weird because it was online. Usually when I see people negotiate, it's in person.
Right.
But because like it was over the phone, I was a little bit more bold. I was like, yeah, like nah, I'm not paying that.
Right.
Drop the price a little bit. Like
Yeah.
the new one's about to come out. I'm not
And-
gonna pay that.
And where was it again?
Oh, it was in. I forgot what state it was. It was like in.
Wisconsin.
I think it was in Wisconsin. Yeah, like it was like this fucking shit was in a random ass pawn shop in Wisconsin. I forgot to mention that. But I mean, they had a good online shop, and I was like,
I mean, he made it happen. That was definitely when he told me that he did that was definitely something that I was impressed by. I was like, okay, he's taking it to the next level. He's pretty serious about this. Like, let's do something with it.
yeah,
And we kind of just took action on it. We started recording, and it to this point I don't think we've uploaded anything solid. Have we?
no, we haven't.
So we have probably maybe like, without exaggerating, maybe like 10 recordings of just
We have like we have like a compilation of recordings.
right.
A lot of them I've deleted, but they're choppy. Some of them the audio doesn't sound good.
Right.
Some of us fall asleep in the middle of a podcast.
True.
Yeah, I'm talking about you, Kenneth.
True. Oh, were you there that day?
I was there that day.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
There was
Whatever. The point I'm trying to make is there's a lot of recordings that we've already made, but they've never actually made it to the web because I just wasn't happy or satisfied with the conversation, and I maybe just wasn't like too fond of what the audio quality was like, and it looking back in retrospect, it was just excuses because it could have been uploaded anyways, right? It could have definitely been uploaded anyways. It's not like everybody's there to listen to it and just be like, let me point out every flaw that this podcast has, right? Whatever. The point I'm trying to make is we're here now, we're recording now, and yeah, I'm excited for the podcast.
I'm happy you said that, bro, because I am too. It's definitely something that's been marinating for a long time. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. We have the Instagram up. We have, I think we have the YouTube channel set up.
YouTube channel. I don't think we have. Maybe we have a YouTube channel, but
it's
soon
by
to be
default.
podcast.
It's by default. We just haven't set it up like organized.
Yeah,
and
organize
actually,
it. Soon to be, we're gonna have a website.
Right. Website, just social media, and that's where I'm like kind of coming in, and I'm saying like we want people to listen and actually be engaged, and in order for you guys to be engaged, you guys,
Yeah, and also like people, if you're not comfortable coming into the podcast physically, you can always call in. Like we have methods of like having people speak over the phone, and we could just connect you.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we do. So I mean it's very versatile. You know what I mean? The methods that we can communicate with people through this roadcaster that we got.
That's wrong. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's raw. We can like talk to somebody from like New York or some crazy shit.
Man, we could. And yeah, whatever. Even if they had like a roadcaster themselves, like they could send me the audio file. I could compile it together, just sync it. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about the podcast. Going forward, I hope that I could learn a lot more about, like creating a social media presence, because I feel like that's one of the main things that interests me about the podcast is creating a social media presence and ultimately making a following, but more like how am I going to like staple my image online? Like how are people going to find out about me? How are people going to view or listen to my podcast? Like under what through what perspective, through what lens are they going to like view the conversation? Are they going to be interested or like whatever it might be? I want to make sure I get to the fundamentals of it. I want to be able to understand, like, I guess the psychology behind why people are listening, why people enjoy it. Because that is ultimately going to help me steer the direction of the podcast. If people lean more towards finances and, things like of that nature, or maybe
Right.
more creative work, or whatever it might be, I'm trying to actively like respond to feedback, right?
Right. And with time, we'll be able to kind of like organize ourselves to that point where we may even set up certain episodes where we do research beforehand, and we come ready with a bunch of information and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like right now we're a little bit really underprepared. We
Man,
kind of just are winging it right now, but
yeah.
definitely down the line we're gonna become a lot more organized with this. We're gonna have topics of discussions beforehand. We're gonna definitely have like our own narratives. Excuse me. Um, we're gonna have like a like he said, research done on certain topics, so that way we could actively give people accurate information, and it's not gonna be biased in any way, shape, or form. We're gonna make sure it's
No cap.
it's pretty. We're gonna make sure it's pretty fair. You know what I mean, across everything. But yeah, I guess we could cut the podcast short right here if you'd like.
I mean, yeah. Like one thing we want, like we don't want to just like over drag it and
Over drag it,
just
yeah.
have,
So
like if you're gonna be listening, we don't want you guys to just be like washing dishes and just like be like, what the fuck are they talking
yeah,
about?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I guess to summarize,
Just straight to the
um,
point. You know.
this this episode is really just us, communicating with anybody who might be listening or who might listen in the future, of like what we're gonna be doing with this show, and like I guess a little bit of background on us. I guess we should maybe talk about a little bit about ourselves a little bit,
Sure.
so people kind of know who we are.
Sure.
Kenneth, I'm gonna ask you, like, tell us a little about tell us a little bit about yourself.
What do you want to know, man?
Anything, bro. Like, just give the audience something that
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm a 20-year-old out of the Bay. Bay Area is, a small section around the San Francisco area in California. I was born and raised in San Francisco. I currently reside in Richmond, where this whole shit is going down, where the whole show is going down. I moved here in 2014, so I was middle school, something like that. But I've been here for almost 8 years. It's been definitely life changing. It changes your perspective. That's definitely something that we could talk about. Just how changing environments changes who you are. Like that's really big. Like when you move out of your hometown or you move to a whole different environment, that shit reconstructs your entire perspective.
we could save that for another episode for sure.
For sure. We're gonna make sure to jot that down. That's really important.
Yeah, I'll write that down.
But yeah, I grew up in the city. It was a whole different life. When I moved here, it was just almost like a culture shock because the city is so much more diverse than Richmond. Richmond is like just straight Latinos, bro, straight Hispanics, and so I wasn't used to that. And obviously now I am. I've assimilated a little bit. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
That's the basic rundown of my life.
I guess a little bit about me. I was born in Los Angeles. I'm Hispanic, Mexican, Guatemalan, American, freedom.
For real.
No, but yeah, I guess a little bit about myself. I have various interests, but primarily it has to do with the online space. My interests kind of take me in the direction of like the online world because I feel like I can just grow exponentially from there as opposed to just kind of like being disconnected from the internet. I don't know why. I've always had an interest on like the online space, creating an audience or building a following, setting up like some sort of like online, like for example, like online websites, coding, things like that interest me. So that's kind of where why maybe a part of the reason for why I'm here, recording this podcast in the first place. But I guess a little bit about my personal life. I have a detailing business that I just recently started, so I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to build that up over time. Have a website for it. I have the Instagram for it. Don't have too many clients right now, but it's a work in progress still. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future.
Okay, you made me want to like actually go deeper.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah, because I just gave like a generic ass like, oh yeah, I grew up in the city and I live here now.
Oh yeah,
You went deep. All right.
that wasn't that deep. I mean, I told you.
yeah,
Let's
word,
give them a little bit
word.
about ourselves.
All right, yeah. So I'm a Mexican American. My dad was born and raised in Mexico. He lives here now. My mom was born and raised.
We're asking about you,
El
bro.
Salvador, and so I'm Salvadorian Mexican American, right? I grew up with my mom. I currently live with my dad, so I've been with them like half and half. Let's see. Yeah, after graduating high school, it was just kind of like, I just been working, saving my money, kind of just like prioritizing growth and learning and, just maturing and, doing that, like kind of school of life, school of hard knocks, as they say.
Okay.
My fault.
Nah, I'm kidding though. Continue.
Nah, but
It's a hard knock life for us. It's not playing, bro.
fuck.
It'd be like that.
Oh yeah, Benji's here with us right now.
It'd be like that, bruh.
No, I'm kidding. He's like, those are ad libs of our friend Benjamin Martinez.
But yeah, I'm just kind of like in that journey of the transition between youth and adulthood. You know, it's definitely a drastic change when you transition. And so I'm kind of in that phase right now where I'm learning a lot, but I'm also kind of just living day to day. And obviously I do have goals, but I feel like being in the podcast, saving money, going to school, kind of like growing myself in ways that, you don't think you're capable of. I feel like that's the main purpose of my life right now,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the little more in-depth rundown of who I am. Because
Yeah.
I was like, when he started talking, I was like, fuck, bro. My shit was ass.
It's not a competition, but
It wasn't, but I felt entitled to. I mean, I felt obliged to kind of go a little deeper.
But yeah, I guess that's a little bit about us. We're gonna wrap up the show here, get things going. We actually spent and before we started recording, we actually spent an hour trying to figure out what the fuck to talk about. Whatever. We made it towards the end, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning into the Life with Bros podcast, episode number 2. We hope you guys tune in for the next one.
For sure. Thank you so much.